on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to review Port Adelaide's disgusting effort against Essendon.
Stop! He's already dead!
So, only one word can describe what that was, which was pathetic. It was shithouse. That's all you can describe it as. We didn't put up a fight. We didn't put up anything, to be honest. It was hard to watch from the first bounce, and I think the tone of the night was set when basically the team rushed the cheer squad because the Essendon people or officials were on the ground still mucking about, so Port couldn't get on the ground, and it just set the tone for the night. It was boring. It was pathetic. And at one stage, I think I flicked to watch Liar Liar. That's how bad it was. So, I think for this one, it was the worst performance of 2017 easily, and it'd have to be right up there with a few of the worst performances from the last couple of years, because I've never seen our team play so dead football. That's what it was. We couldn't move the ball. Transition was awful. Our skill errors. They scored 117 points, I think it was, from turnovers. 117. Their score for the night was 131. They scored 90% of their score from our turnovers, which says a lot about how we played, and also the fact that we couldn't defend our turnovers. That is the highest score from turnovers from one game from a club this year, which is embarrassing. Embarrassing to watch. There was no intensity from our players on Saturday night. There was no effort. It was like they didn't care. They were gone. Like Essendon, credit to them, they played awesome. And it was the typical way you play Etihad Stadium, but the way we played was like it was raining on a Saturday afternoon in front of 10,000 people, and the whole ground was mud. We played slow, pathetic, ineffective football. And if you're going to be serious and want to be real contenders for this year, then you don't put up that sort of effort. And you could say that, you know, the way this season's going, every team's had one, and up until Saturday night, you could say Port Adelaide was the only team that didn't have a game like that, and it happened. And we were out of the game from the first quarter. We were coming back in the second, kicked the first 3 goals in the first 3 minutes, and we're like, okay, here we go. We're coming back now. This is the Port Adelaide we know. And then it dragged out, missed a couple of opportunities that we should have got, and basically threw out our game. As I said, looked slow. It was, I don't know. And when uncontested possessions were 291 to 226, they killed us on the outside. That is a pathetic effort. That means we did not defend. There was no effort in defending. Some of the players got found out Saturday night. Players like Jack Homt, who is probably up there in the best key defenders in the league, and he was awful. Kyle Hooker, 5 goals in the first half. Thank God they moved Cleary onto him, because otherwise we could have seen a player kick 10 goals for the first time this year. That's how good he was playing. And Humps just couldn't find anything. But it's not his fault. Players like Tumpus were awful. I mean, you can't blame the bloke, but he has no X factor about him. And to me, I've never really been a big fan of Tumpus, and coming back against Hawthorn, he came in for a like for Carl Amon, but he had no place in there Saturday night. He should have been dropped. And in contrast to seeing how good the Port Magpies played yesterday against Westies, there should be some changes next week shortly. But continue along with the uncontested possessions. Essendon had 26 bounces to 5. 26 bounces, that means we had no run. There was no run of the ball, there was no movement, there was no, it was just stalemate. We get the ball in the halfback, cut off, and we could have slingshot around the other side, do the switch, and you know our fast player we usually do. No, we took the mark, we jogged back. There was no excitement. There was no energy from the players, and when that is the case, it's draining for the fans, and it's a credit to the fans that went over 2 bays full, and they watched that pathetic performance. What can you do? Basically, all you got to do is move on from this, because that's the only way we're going to, keep on living. And a week's a long time in football, yeah, sure, but it will come around. We've got Brisbane next week at home. We've got to fill the Fortress. We've got to be loud and proud. Saturday afternoon or Saturday twilight against Brisbane. This is the game we need to win, and win big. Get our percentage back, because that percentage took a horrible hit on Saturday night. So there's not much more you can say about that horrible, disgraceful, disgusting, pathetic performance. Move on to the things I learnt. Not a lot I learnt from Saturday night. You could throw in the fact that I learnt that trying to watch my team, through that pain, it was painful to watch. I switched over to a movie. I did switch back, so it's okay. Don't hate me on that. You're not a true fan. Blah blah blah. But I watched basically the full game, and I couldn't. It was so painful to watch. But that's not really a thing I learned. That's just the fact that I was basically, I could have gone to bed. I should have gone to bed, to be honest. One thing I learned was the Bombers are a bogey team for us and a bogey team for the rest of the competition. They are fantastic at Etihad. You saw what they did to West Coast. They beat Geelong. They could be in the top 8 this year. If they play like that every week, no team will beat them. They were exhilarating to watch, and it was good to see if you were a general watcher of football, not really a fan, because the Bombers have been obviously through a lot lately. So it was good to see that from that perspective. Another thing I learnt is when your best on ground is Justin Westhoff, you've had a shocker. And that's nothing against Westy. The Hoff was brilliant. Probably can, one of the very few that can hold his head high. But when that's the case, we don't have players like Boak, Wingard, Robbie Gray, Dixon, who are not firing, and you've got players like Westhoff trying to stand up. He stands up every week anyway, and I don't know why people call for him to get chopped, because he does his role so well. Sure, he makes a few mistakes, and his efficiency in front of goal is not the best. He can hold his head high. He can hold his head high from Saturday night, because 33 possessions, a goal, his pressure, and he tried his best to get the team back in. And you couldn't say the same for players like Boak, Dixon. Robbie was okay, and all these types of players that really weren't. No one was really in it besides the Hoff, and you could say Brad, even Ollie Wines, or a couple of others as well that stood up. But yeah, it was tough. The performance. Another thing I learned: the performance. It raises the question: is this a road bump, or is this a I can't speak. Is this a sign of things to come? We hope not, but we'll wait till next week. They better back it up. Players got to back it up, otherwise questions will be asked once again. And we've done so well to build a base of a set performance that you need to keep for the full year, and to throw in a performance like that, it raises a big question on the rest of the season. So hopefully we bounce back and win comfortably against Brisbane, and get a bit of confidence back in front of the home fans. The votes, I swear to God, I want to watch this back and think, well, this is depressing. My voice is gone for other reasons. Don't question that. But yeah, anyway, the votes for round 12, 13, 12. I don't know. I don't know, but the votes, Justin Westhoff gets the 3 votes. He was brilliant. He was best on ground for Port, so he gets 3. Ollie Wines gets the 2 votes. He stood up, looked like he got a bit of an injured knee, but he came back on and he tried his best. And the kid, what can you do when you the rest of your team's not backing you up. But he can hold his head high too. He was brilliant, Ollie, and 107 fantasy points, so makes me happy. Brad Ebert, Mr. Reliable. He's the new Mr. Reliable, and all I can say is that he was just hard, tough, putting the pressure on, and he was just being Brad Ebert. So he gets 1 vote, and everyone else can basically... you can throw in Sam Powell-Pepper too. I mean, he was pretty good. His second half was better. His work ethic, even when the game was basically shot, he was still working hard, but too many passengers from Saturday night. And it was depressing to watch. I'm going to keep saying that, but yeah, it really was depressing. Well, that's it. Thank God I got that review done. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible to watch. So, I'm done. I've got nothing more to say. Pathetic shithouse. That's all I can describe it as, really. But next week against Brisbane, Adelaide Oval, 4:10 I think it is, on a Saturday afternoon twilight game. I'll be there, cheering on the boys. Hopefully we'll see you there too. Make sure you get out. If you can't get out, give your ticket away. We want to fill this place up. We don't want to be affected by what happened on Saturday night. We want to be there, be loud, be proud, and show the Port Adelaide spirit that we have as fans. So, thank you very much for watching, Port fans. My name's Anthony, and obviously, come the pair.